to another Get Hooked episode. I'll just fix this. My name is Adele. You can find me as Hooked on Art on all the socials. That's Instagram, Facebook and Ravelry. And I'm from the beautiful sunny South Africa. Today is the 7th of July 2024 and this is episode 10. So exciting stuff. And I'm going to jump straight into it by telling you that I'm actually wearing an FO. So this is the Chunky Souffle by Laura Penrose. It's a top-down yoke construction knit with this fun and little detail. It's a ruffle detail. And if you've been following me on Instagram, I hacked this and I did not actually knit the ruffle. Simply because I couldn't see myself binding off 672 stitches. Leo's at the joints, give me a second. He wants to be part of it. So yeah, I just couldn't see myself binding off all of those stitches. So yeah, I hacked it by crocheting the ruffle. Some modifications I made to this pattern was the neckline. It's supposed to be a folded collar, but I actually prefer the look of the turtleneck, polo neck kind of thing. So you start with the neckline, top down yoke construction. For this one I actually did both of the sleeves first before I finished up the body. Another modification I did was the hemline towards the bottom. Let's see if you can see that. Yes, I did a split hem for the hemline just because I think that it looks super sleek when you do it like that. Okay, so specifics. I made this using Al Yarns Unspun in the color Neptune, which is a bulky weight yarn, perfect for this pattern. And I think this is the fastest I've ever knit a jersey. It took me just a little bit more than a month. So yeah, very exciting, and I just love how this came together. The color is still growing on me. I'm not sure, I'm not 100% convinced that I'm a fan of this color on me. I love the color, just not sure if I love the color on me. Okay, so back to the ruffle. I decided that I'm not going to knit that, and after reading a couple of reviews on Ravelry, a lot of people said as well the ruffle bit was the most finicky bit. There was actually a person that said her entire cable broke when she tried to do this, so I said let me just crochet it, and it actually worked out perfectly. You can't even tell that there's a difference between the knitting bit and the crocheting bit, and the ruffle goes right around, like right around the entire jersey. So yeah, not the most practical jersey because you can't layer this, you can't put this under a jacket because the ruffle is going to be in the way, but cute, super cute. I can see myself getting a lot of wear out of this, especially on days like today where it's not too cold. I just throw on a thermal and this, and I'm super nice and cozy. So yeah, first FO is this Chunky Souffle by Laura Penrose. Then I finished 2 other objects. I've got 2 new whips to show you, some other whips in acquisition, and then what I've read and what I'm going to read next as well, or what I'm busy reading actually. Okay. So the second FO is the pair of socks for Dion. I actually gifted this to him for his birthday, which was on Friday. So I'm sure they're going to get their first wear probably tomorrow even for work. And yeah, just both socks are finally done. Absolutely loved working on these, especially with this yarn. I made this with a Regia, I think it's just called Design Line if I'm not mistaken. Super nice sock yarn to work with. If I'm not mistaken, it's made with virgin wool and a nylon blend or polyamide blend. But yeah, love how these socks turned out. I think I've said everything that I needed to say in all the previous episodes. 9-inch circulars, cuff down, and I actually prefer knitting socks cuff down. I've done a few toe up, but I think I hate binding off, and that's why I don't like working the toe up socks, because then you end up having to bind off, and I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather kitchen a toe. But yeah, nonetheless, these are super cute. I just love the little specks and the socks, and yeah, I know that Dion loves them. He just loves handmade socks, so these will definitely be worn until they can no longer be worn. Right, the third FO is the blanket that I started for my cousin. I think in the previous episode I was around halfway and I finished the blanket, did a super cute border, so I decided to use the accent colors only on the border, and this is like my signature go-to border style, a row of mesh and then a few rows of moss stitch. And I did the moss stitch in ivory and then the 2 purples just to accentuate it. And I love how this blanket turned out. Okay, then I did something a little bit wild. So the blanket I made for this baby's sister was personalized with a name, but I didn't want to do bubble names or bubble the name. And I decided I'm going to get a little bit creative. So I did it with a chain. I tried surface slip stitching it on, but I wasn't enjoying the look I was getting. And I think it is because this is alternating double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet. I think if everything was just single crochet or just double crochet, the surface slip stitching would have looked the way I wanted it to look. But I liked the look of the surface slip stitch. And I thought I can achieve the same by just making a massive chain and then layering or laying out the letters, and that's exactly what I did. So the name is Miane. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, I just think it's so cute. And then to dot the I decided to do a little flower, and it's so cute. And obviously this had to be in the accent purples. But yeah, this one is going to be sent to my aunt in this week. And I made this all with Al Yarns' Pure Gold. The main blanket color is ivory, and then the 2 accents I think is just purple and lilac or lavender. I don't recall what the lighter purple is called, but the dark purple is definitely just purple. Yeah, super cute, super chuffed with how this turned out, and I'm sure she is going to love it. And what I love about crocheting blankets as gifts is that it's a keepsake. This blanket will last forever with proper care, and I know that they'll look after it properly. So yeah, I can't wait to sing this. Then the fourth FO is one that I don't have with me, but I'm going to pop in some pictures. So when was it? Was it Wednesday? No, Monday or Tuesday. We stay on the same property as Dion's parents, and Dion's dad, I've made him beanies in the past. He likes wearing beanies. He comes inside and he hands me a ball of yarn, and he's like, maak my a copy for my a dakkie for my kop. So he's asking if I can make him a beanie, and I'm like, okay, sure. So that evening I just started. It was a dark blue color. There was no ball band, so I don't even know what I used. I think it was charity though. It felt a bit like charity, and I'm saying this because Dion's mom also crochets, so he probably just grabbed a ball from her stash and he wanted a beanie. So I ended up making him a beanie. I think I finished it yesterday, the day before yesterday, and he's already wearing it around. So I had to ask him, like, listen, I just need to take a picture. So I'll pop the pictures in, and that was just a lot of fun. It was just a top down beanie, nothing special, like not even a ribbing, not even a front post, back post ribbing, nothing. Just plain double crochets, long enough so that you can fold the brim, and yeah, it's already getting worn, so that's awesome. Okay, that's it for FOs. Let's jump into whips. Let's start with the whips that I've worked on that you've seen already. Okay. Now, I sat thinking, is it really necessary showing the same whips every week when I'm not making a ton of progress and I'm not finishing them off as quickly as I want to? And it just dawned on me that I absolutely should, because knitting is about the slow life. Knitting is about, or even crocheting, knitting and crocheting, any handcraft, anything you do with your hands, handcrafted things, they are about the slow life. It's about slowing down, thinking, and just thinking about the stitches that you're creating with your two hands. So yes, I'm going to show you whips that you've seen already, none of which I finished except for this one, but progress has been made on them and I've been enjoying it, and I think that's important to showcase, that I am making progress and that I am enjoying it and that I am about the slow life. Okay, so this is the Real Easy Raglan that I'm busy with for Dion. In the previous episode I was about halfway with the sleeve, so guess what, sleeve number 1 is all done. Ribbing, the cuff is done and it's bound off and it actually fits perfectly. I think when I wash and block this one, it will stretch out a little bit. So I made it maybe a centimeter shorter than the pattern. But other than that, exactly as per the pattern. The decreases the length except for 1 centimeter shorter, and then the cuff is as per pattern as well. Then I also picked up for sleeve number 2, and I would say I'm about probably a quarter of the way there. So yeah, she is getting love. I'm not through the decreases yet. Definitely not through the decreases. And I'm working my sleeves on 9-inch circulars. Okay, so these are the Addy 9-inch circulars, 4.5 millimeter, because I worked the rest of the jersey on 4.5 as well. So yeah, soon, hopefully before this winter's over, you'll get to wear this at least once. I really hope so. But I think once the sleeves are done, the body is just chipping away until it needs the hemline, doing the hemline, and then it's done. And I'm starting to realize why I like working the sleeves first, because when the sleeves are done and you work on the body, you mentally only have one thing left to finish. So yay for doing the sleeves first. Okay, I still don't have a ball band with me. Let me check. Yeah, still no ball band, but it is made with Rowan felted tweed. You can, oopsie, you can see the tweedy bits in there. Not sure of the colorway. I do know that this comprises of alpaca. Not 100% sure of the percentages, but it's such a lovely yarn to work with, and it's a DK weight yarn. And I actually think that I'm going to have probably 2 or 3 balls left after I'm done with this jersey to make something for myself. Obviously, we need to match. Come on. But so cute. So yeah, it's getting done. I just wish that I have made more progress, but you'll see now why I haven't made much more progress on this one, because the second whip is probably my favorite whip out of the bunch. Let me get a ball yarn out there, except for the fact that this one is not as mindless as all the other whips. Okay, so let me show you first and then we'll speak a bit about it. This is the Ingrid Sweater by Petite Knit. I didn't even mention the Real Easy Raglan is a free pattern by Maker Store. A phenomenal free pattern, honestly. Okay, back to this one, the Ingrid Sweater by Petite Knit. It looks all bunched up because I don't have a longer cable, and this is a fixed needle as well. But oh, I'm loving this one. I love working on this, but it's not a mindless pattern at all. There are mindless bits, but the majority of this is a high concentrate pattern. Okay, so in the previous episode, I finished the back panel up until the 2x2 rib, up until there. I finished the left front, and I think I just started on the right front. So, progress that has been made. There's something in my, sorry. I finished the right shoulder, joined for the front, worked the front, joined in the round. See there? Join in the round, and then made some progress on the body as well. I'm on the second, these little mock cables. There's a second mock cable pattern at the bottom, so I'm on that second bit of the mock cables. This is so much fun, although it's so much work, but it's going to be worth the effort, and it's going to block out beautifully. I've worked with this yarn before. It's Al Yarns' Merino 100% superwash yarn. This is in the colorway Russet. It's beautiful deep red, and I've worked with this before, and I know that it blocks out beautifully. So all of these details that look a little bit scrunched right now, especially the 2x2 ribbing, is just going to block out and relax beautifully. And yeah, so many new techniques. I think I mentioned in the previous episode how many new techniques I've learned, and I just can't get enough of this. The only thing that's bothering me a little bit are all these ends that I'm going to have to sew away, especially, was it the right front? Oh gosh, I think you cut and join the yarn like 3 different times. So there are a ton of ends that will have to be sewn away, but it's going to be worth it. I just need to keep reminding myself of that. It's going to be worth it. So this is also just a DK weight yarn, and I'm working this exactly as per the pattern on 4.4mm needles. They're fixed, so there's no joining and using the needles for anything else at the moment, which is fine because I'm not planning on starting a new jersey until one of these whips are done. That's the rule that I've made for and with myself. I'm drinking grapefruit juice. That's not for everyone, I get that, but I love this stuff. So yeah, the rule is one of these whips need to be done before I'm allowed to cast on another jersey. Okay, but yeah, I'm very excited for this one. And I'm excited to say that I didn't make any mistakes in the mock cables on the front. It's only the back, and we're gonna leave it at that. But yeah, this one is getting love. There's no rush to get this one done. This was my holiday project. If I ever thought for a second that I want to get this done during the holidays, 3 weeks to get a all over textured jersey done, I was a bit crazy, but I did not for once think that. So yeah, slowly chipping away at that. Okay, 2 new whips. Accessories are allowed. I can cast those on as I wish. But jerseys, I can only have a set number going on at a time. Alrighty. So, Dune and I went for our food tasting. When was it? 2 weeks ago? Last week? End of June. And I challenged myself to knit only on my new whip, my new sock whip, on the way there and on the way back. So what I did, I cast it on the day before we left, right there, and I stopped where the blue marker is, and then all of this was done on that road trip. Okay, so this is a sock I'm making. I know it looks so weird. It's a 2x2 ribbed sock, but this thing has so much stretch. Once it's been washed, it's going to relax a little bit and it's going to look better, but the plan is to wear them like this anyways. Okay, so new sock whip, Addy sock and windows, my absolute favorite way of knitting socks is with these needles and on their 9-inch circulars, just because I can literally knit so fast on these. Well, fast. I'm making this with South African dyed yarn and Nazi Habit. She is pretty much infamous and synonymous with sock knitters in South Africa. This is the yarn. This was a Kaiso set that I bought back in 2022. It's a fingering 3-ply superwash merino, well 75% merino, 25% nylon, and this is the colorway CCX. It's a pretty natural toned yarn with some speckles in between. And if you recall saying, I had to ask Dion to help me wind this because I don't have a swift. So what I do is I'll put it around my arms and hold the skein, the hang, and then he'll literally ball it for me, and that's just how we've been doing it, and it works perfectly fine. Luckily I didn't have to bribe him. He agreed to help me, which is fantastic. But yeah, just a 2x2 ribbed sock. I'm following the Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla sock pattern. The counts and the heel and the toe will be according to that, but I'm just doing 2x2 ribbing. And I think in this yarn, get a close up there, it just speaks, oh, and it shouts, and it's gorgeous. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. And since I'm going back to work on Tuesday, this will probably become my at work project, because I can put it down and pick it up at any time. I can see exactly where I am knitting. It's not a complicated thing where I need to be in stitch count or focused in stitch pattern. Rather, I can just pick it up, get going at any second. So yeah, these socks are going to be cute. The heel is going to be a normal slip stitch heel flap. And then I've got this accent color, which I plan on using for the toes only. They're gonna be so cute. I just can't get over how weird they look. This does not look like a sock. It looks so weird. And the material is so like stiff. But yeah, I think it's gonna be cute. So I think I've got about 3 more rows to go before I start with the heel. And then we can just get it going. And I'm also doing this as part of the Crazy Sock Ladies Summer Sock Camp. So this is officially a Summer Sock Camp update. The socks are socking. So that's a new whip. One that I'm currently working on when I play Passenger Princess, but it will soon become my at-work project. Okay, the second new whip is another Musselburgh. Okay. I get the hype around this pattern, and it's because it's so much fun to make. So I'm using African Expressions Joy, which is also a South African yarn. It is a 15% mohair, 40% superwash wool, and 45% acrylic DK weight yarn. Is it DK? Yeah, this is a DK weight. It doesn't say. Yes, it's a DK weight. Okay, but in this beautiful color, is there a colorway on this one? I think it's just the number. I think that's the number. But it's this gorgeous blue tone. That's pretty close to, I must admit, that is pretty close. True to color on screen. So yeah. Oh, that's how far I'm almost through the crown increases. Oh, it's so cute. And I'm going to color block this one. So I've got a really nice yellow and 2 black balls of this as well. So I'm thinking I'm going to color block this. So blue and yellow for the one side, and then the other side will just be black. And then you'll have 2 beanies in one, which is what makes the Musselburgh such a phenomenal pattern. Yes. There's not much more to say. It's just so cute. And the stitch definition of this yarn is to die for. I would love to make a jersey in this. One day I shall do it. I'm just magic looping this entire beanie, and I think when I'm done with the crown increases, I'll do continuous loop actually, and not magic loop anymore, because I find that continuous loop is a lot more comfortable for me, and I don't have to worry about having a stitch count on each needle. I can just go until the start and then continue knitting. I'll show you what I mean by continuous loop now in a second, because my next whip I'm doing that as well, and I've already continuous looped. So yeah, Musselburgh number 2 in the making. I'm housing this once again in my 3D printed bowl. It's because it's just easy to access, and I like working on this one when I need a break from all the other projects, especially a break from the Ingrid, when that has been taking a lot of mental focus. This one I can just go. Lots of fun are being had. Is being had. Alright, then the final whip, and this one kind of goes hand in hand with my acquisitions, because if you recall, I started a pink fluffy cardigan, ran out of yarn because I knew I was going to run out of yarn. I went into this project thinking that I'm going to knit a little bit, then I'll order the yarn, and then I'll just finish it once the yarn arrives, and then I knit until I ran out of yarn. So it was a problem. Okay, so let's just talk about this real quick. This is the step-by-step cardigan by Handmade by Florence. And in the previous episode, which feels like years ago, but it's not, it's just been a few months, I finished the entire body, and I was about halfway with the sleeve. Yeah, about halfway with the sleeve. So yarn came because I ordered more, and I finished the first sleeve. Okay. I posted a reel to Instagram about the sleeve length, because I'm not sure if I really love the sleeve length, because all my other jerseys, they hit me like right on the wrist before my hand starts. This one hits me above, like a little bit more above the wrist, but I think for a cardigan that's fine, and I'm not getting excess material when I need to use my arms. So we'll see. Right, so as soon as the day that this yarn came, I picked this project up again. I was like, you're coming out of hibernation with me. We're going to work on you now. So that's exactly what I did. So the plan was to make the button band, okay? But here's the thing. If you've ever knit a button band, and I haven't, this would have been my first double knitting button band, you would know that it is extremely time consuming and gorgeous. It really is stunning. It gives like this, I want to say, store-bought feel, machine-made feel. Double knitting is just something on another level. And I decided, well, let me pick up the stitches for the button band, and I started with the button band. Super easy. Like, don't be intimidated by the look of a double knitting button band. It looks way more difficult than it is. It's also very meditative, like a relaxing thing to do. And I went as far as finishing 2 of the buttonholes. Okay, so the buttonholes we started here, so there was 1 buttonhole there and like another one around there. And then I set this down, and I think I went to make coffee or something, and when I came back I was like, I can't even see the button band. And like I said, if you've done a button band, you would know that it is extremely time consuming. Not difficult, just it takes long. And with this yarn, I just didn't think it was worth the effort. The outcome, the way it looked, didn't look like a streamlined button band, because obviously the flues. I love the yarn, so I made an executive decision to frog the button band, to scrap it. So the plan is I'm going to finish the second sleeve, which you'll see in a second. I'm like more than halfway. I think I've got like 12 rows left before I do the ribbing. Then it's just the ribbon, then this is basically done. But then I need to see how it wears without a button band. And you know, you get cardigans that don't have buttons. I'm not sure what they call it. I know there's a specific name for them. But I feel like this one is going to need some kind of structure because it cools in. So I'm thinking of just doing a crochet button band around, just to give it that little bit of structure so that you can actually see that it is a cardigan. But decisions will be made once we're there. So yeah, this is my step-by-step sweater made with Nirvana Chunky. I'll grab the ball band and show you. It's also from Allianz. Nirvana Chunky in the colorway Proud Pink. It's a 50% acrylic, 50% nylon blend. And it's so soft. And I can't wait to have this cardigan done. And never in a million years did I think that I would be knitting and wearing a bright pink fluffy cardigan. But I'm having so much fun. And I cannot wait to get the second sleeve done. Okay, so what I meant by continuous knitting is this. I just pull this needle out, pop this one in, keep the loop on this side, you work around, and then you do that again, pull the back needle out, which is a lot more comfortable than having the other side of the magic loop coming out this way. Just think that to me it works a little bit better. So yeah, soon I'll be sporting this fluffy pinkness, and yeah, I'm excited for that. So cute. So yeah, that's also probably why I haven't made as much progress on the Real Easy Raglan, because the moment that this one came back into rotation, I just wanted to work on this because I love the feel of this yarn. I love working with it. It's just a lot of fun. So yeah, soon this one will be done. Okay, and that brings me to acquisitions. So when I ordered more of this pink yarn, okay, let me backtrack a bit. I've said this before, I'm an Allianz brand ambassador, which gives me certain benefits. Like sometimes we get a box of yarn for free, and they either challenge us, or all the ambassadors, when I say us, I'm speaking of all the other ambassadors as well. So they'll either challenge us and tell us, you've got this yarn, please create a set, create a scarf, create a jersey, whatever. Okay, and then another benefit we get is we get to order straight from the factory at cost price. which is amazing because I have to use that benefit, right? So I ordered this, and then I ordered some other yarns as well. Okay, so I got an entire jersey quantity of this classic wool double knit in the colorway Pickle, and it's an 80% acrylic, 20% wool blend, and that is the most gorgeous color. It's not coming up true to color. It's a little bit deeper. I feel the green's a little bit deeper. Nonetheless, it's called Pickle. It's got a bit of variegation in it. Yeah, you can see there's like brown spots in there, darker green and lighter green spots, and I'm going to use this, and I've had to exert my self-control on another level. I've never had to display this much of self-control, but I'm being a good girl because I'm going to use this yarn to make a drop shoulder jersey. So it would either be Petite Knit has one, but I'll have to scroll through her patterns again to see which one I'm talking about. And then Rebecca Chloe, the Creabea, she has the Stick Season sweater, which is a drop shoulder construction with some texture at the top, but you can not do the texture, and then it's a beautiful stickless Stick Season sweater. So you don't have the texture, it's just stockinette, and that's the plan with this. I think this yarn is beautiful enough to make a stockinette sweater or a stockinette jersey just pop. Okay, that's the first plan. Otherwise, I bought an entire box of mohair a while back. I think it's in episode 6, 7 or 8, where there is a green inside of that box that would just pair so lovely with this Pickle. So if that's the case, I'm going to have to make a worsted weight jersey, and the step-by-step Cardigan has a sister, the step-by-step sweater, which is a worsted weight jersey. So I might pair the two, but my heart's leaning more towards the drop shoulder look. I don't want another Raglan jersey. I think I have enough experience with Raglan jerseys now, and I really want to try a drop shoulder construction or something even with a saddle shoulder. No, drop shoulder it is. So yeah, that's it for me, my FOs, my whips, and my acquisitions. This is taking so much self-control. Let's go to reading before I cast this on the moment I end this video. Okay. So in the previous video, I started a new book called I Am Death by Chris Carter. I finished this one. It broke my brain. His plot twists are just insane. The problem with this is you think you know who the killer is, and you're like, it's this guy. I know for a fact that it's this guy. And then there's a twist, and you're like, it can't be him. It can't be him. And then when you get to who the actual killer is, you're like, what? How did we get there? And then it just all makes so much sense. But yeah, this is brilliant. The plot twist is amazing, and I really enjoyed this book. So when I finished that one, I was like, let me read something real life for a minute. And I picked up The Life Undercover by Amaryllis Fox. So she was a CIA agent, and she worked with Al-Qaeda and terrorist groups to try and stop terrorist attacks. And it's a very coming of age story, and I think it says here on the front, y'all, the best book of the year. Amaryllis is a superhero coming of age in the CIA. So she was extremely young when she got recruited into the CIA, and she basically grew up there. She had to sacrifice a lot of opportunities, you could say, by entering into the CIA, but such a good read. I really enjoyed this one, and her writing style just captivated me. I can recommend this one. I'll read the blurb for you. I'm here to prevent a major and imminent attack, one that will kill children. I'm alone and operational in a country where my mentor was taken and beheaded, and every hour I'm delayed is another hour for something to go wrong. Okay, so I know that sounds a bit ominous, but I promise you it's not that ominous. Okay, she's got a sense of humor, which I can relate to, and yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Okay, after that I started a new book. Let me just grab it, it's on the counter there. Okay, and the next book I grabbed was The Caller by Chris Carter. Okay, so if you haven't gathered yet, I'm a major Chris Carter fan. I'm a major crime fan, and this is actually horror crime because the way he describes the deaths of these victims in so much detail, you kind of feel the pain that they're going through. Okay, so this one is actually disgusting, the way that these people are killed. Okay, so I'm going to read the blurb for you. Be careful before answering your next call. It could be the beginning of your worst nightmare. After a tough week, Tanya Caitlin is looking forward to a relaxing night in. But as she steps out of her shower, she hears her phone ring. The video call request comes from her best friend, Karen Ward. Tanya takes the call and the terror begins. Detective Robert Hunter of the LAPD Special Section and his colleague Carlos Garcia are thrown headlong into a horrific investigation, chasing a predator who scouts the streets and social media networks for victims. It's a race against time. Whose phone will ring next? Okay, so Robert Hunter is the main detective we follow in all of Chris Carter's books. It's this almost German looking guy with blonde hair, blue eyes, very well built, a whiskey connoisseur of some sorts. He's an insomniac, a psychology major, biopsychology if I'm not mistaken, and he's like a certified genius. Nonetheless, Chris Carter is a terrific storyteller, and the detail that he explains these gruesome killings in is what really gets me, because sometimes I literally have to take a break and I'm like, no, I can't, because you literally visualize. He's such a visual writer that you see this and you see it happening and you feel like almost angsty because you know what's happening and you can't stop it and you just want to read, and every flippant chapter ends on a cliffhanger. It's exactly the same with the I Am Death. Every single chapter ends on a cliffhanger. So you're here in bed like 1:30 maybe, and you still can't put it down. So yeah. Anyways, I'm having fun. I hope that you are too, and thank you for joining me. Have a lovely day. Stay hooked. Bye.